So let's start booklet B. Okay, how many of you remember what we did yesterday? Okay, we finished a few questions on booklet A and started off booklet B. Booklet B, I said, okay, since we have time, we will go and do the last two questions, which a lot of you requested. Okay, so we did finish, not really the last two questions. I can't remember. Is it the last two or we had one more at the end? 39. So we do have 39. We did 37 and 38, I believe. Okay, let's start with number one. Okay, straight away start with number one. What we're going to do is just quickly go through booklet B so that you get an idea of how to handle booklet B in the exams. Okay, by now you are quite familiar because you already done your prelims. That means you're well prepared. Okay, how do we prepare you to get that extra 5 to 6 marks to push you up another AL? One AL takes 5 marks to go up, right? Say for example, you are at the lowest end of an AL, like 81. So you want to go to the next AL, you got to go to 86, which is 5 marks. Okay, so 5 mark blocks you need to move up. You cannot move up with 1 mark block or 2 mark. Okay, so 5 marks. So that's equivalent to a lot of work in booklet B or just 3 questions in booklet A. All right. So let's go and look at this. So today's lesson, I'll be focusing on how can you get those extra marks. Okay, I know you can get those basic marks, but extra marks are the ones that most valuable to push you up. Okay, so it's very easy to get 80 marks in science, right? Very easy. So I'm going to write down here 80 marks. So if you're slightly better in terms of writing your answers, you're going to reach 85 with no problem, which means there's a gap of 15 marks to 100. So where do these 15 marks, why do you lose these 15 marks? So if you pay attention closely to today's lesson, you will know where to get those 15 marks. Is that clear? So can you imagine you can jump from here to here, the barrier. Okay, you got a 15 mark barrier, which is always stopping us from getting above 90. Okay, how do we jump that barrier? Okay, if you listen closely, like I said, because the teachers have no time to handle you guys one-to-one, okay? But they address one-to-many. That means all of you in a class, they keep telling you, but it doesn't really reach your ears or your heart. So today, heart to heart with me, we'll try and get there by trying to let you or make you understand how you can jump that 15 mark barrier and get at least 5 to 6 marks so that you can reach that 90. Okay, but it applies to everyone. Even if you are at 60 or 70, it still means you can jump a 5 mark to reach 75. Am I right? Yeah, transform into a green giant and break the barrier. Ming said. Okay, very good. Mingche. Okay, Mingche, thanks. Transform into a green plant and break the barrier. Yeah, let's transform. Okay, so Mr. Tan went overseas for a week. When he returned, he observed that his plant has wilted as shown. Like I said, yesterday, I think those of you attending today for the first time, I didn't attend yesterday. The question set for given for mock 3 is slightly tougher than mock 1 and mock 2 because I purposely took the tougher question and made them into a mock paper. You understand? So there will not be many easy questions, so that we are going to train you on a tough regime to be able to handle these questions. Okay. So tomorrow's Kahoot, okay, confirm already. Tomorrow is Kahoot, a little bit, not the whole lesson. Tomorrow's Kahoot will comprise of tough questions. So I want to see whether you are prepared for it. Because if you want to climb the leaderboard in tomorrow's competition, because tomorrow Kahoot means whoever answers fastest, whoever answers the most will go into the top of the table. Answer tough questions. So be prepared and prepare for it tonight. Maybe think of it as an exam tomorrow. How will you study? How will you prepare? Okay, tomorrow I will put in tough questions and we'll see who comes up on top. Okay, so get ready for that tomorrow. All right, how does the closing? Okay, so when he went overseas, so he left his plant aside, and when he returned, he observed that his plant has wilted, like that shown in the picture. But when a plant is wilting, the stomata on the leaves are either closed. Okay, yeah, they give you two options. Not only it die, it doesn't die. A lot of people, oh, it died, the plant died. You saw this, the plant died. No, the plant hasn't died. Okay, the plant has wilted, so it's not died. Okay, it's wilting, it's going to die. So there's a difference, right? So in the exam, if you don't understand that, you understand the term wilting, that's it. This question is gone, because you probably assume the plant has died because you saw the picture and it looks like the plant is dead. Plant is dead, maybe you can have no leaves or so. Even the plants will drop. Remember, right or not? Plant is dead means what? The leaves will be here. Am I right? And then they'll turn brown and then they'll decay and decompose. So that's a lot of difference. Okay, a lot of difference from wilting and dying. It's about to die, but it's not yet. So when it is wilting, means it can go into dying mode, or you can make it survive back. Do you understand what I'm meaning? So if, for example, I go to hospital, I'm in ICU, I'm really unwell. So I could be close to death, I could be dying, or the doctor could actually give me enough medication and care so that I become alive again. Already I just stay alive, not alive again, I haven't died yet, right? So I can stay alive. I haven't died. If somebody thought I'm going to die, but I haven't died. So same thing for the plant. You thought the plant is going to die, but it hasn't died. So it's wilting means you need to take care of it. Maybe you can rejuvenate by maybe starting to take care of it. Maybe Mr. Tan came back from overseas, he saw it and he's cried and he started putting a lot of water, taking care of it. Of course, not too much water. Too much water kills as well. And therefore, he makes it not die. Okay, so it will either close or reduce the size of the opening. Why? So now, same thing. Okay, every living thing will try to extend their living time by. It's just like intensive care unit in the hospital. We can actually prolong your life by taking care of you better. So the plant itself doesn't have anyone to take care of him. So he has to take care of himself. So he needs to do something to prevent himself from losing too much water. So these things he does. So he's going to close his stomata, okay, or reduce the size of the opening on the stomata so that the water loss is not so great. So how does the closing of stomata help it to stay alive? Not become alive, but stay alive. It is still alive. You understand? This is the reason why I say it's not dead yet. And you don't say it become alive again. It's not dead yet. So you can't say alive again. You can say stay alive. It is still alive. Okay, so I think we can answer it something like that. Reduce the water loss, right? So since uh, so we say the first sentence is the fact. Okay, it's the fact from the science textbook. This is a fact. So we state the fact first. Since this is a fact, then therefore they will close their stomata or reduce the size of the opening. Okay, because plants lose water to the surrounding through their stomata. So that we know that you know why they're trying to close the stomata, because you know that stomata is the opening that loses water. Okay. Hence, the closing of the stomata will result in a reduction in the loss of water from the leaves, allowing you to retain more water to stay alive for a longer time. So it will either close or reduce the opening size, okay, so that there'll be less water loss, so it can stay alive. Okay, so that's pretty easy, straightforward. It's only 1 mark. Okay, although the answer is long. Again, let me teach you in the exam. Not always 1 mark means short answer, 3 mark means long answer, 2 marks means middle answer. No, 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 no. Okay. Sometimes 1 mark can also be long answer like this one. Just give your best answer. Get my write it down. You all have notes or not? Okay, you have a paper and pen, write down. Give your best answer. Okay. Doesn't matter about the marks. The marks generally tell you how much content is required, how many keywords there are, but give your best answer. Okay. Doesn't matter if it's 1 mark. Now, the rate of photosynthesis of a plant decreases when the plant is wilting. Okay. Why is it so? So the first part, this part is just the same thing, right? It's the same. So you don't need to read too much into it. You understand? The second part B, okay, this is a keyword in the question. Okay, anyone want to answer? Give me 2 reasons why. Give me 2 reasons why. Okay, anyone? Okay, Sudirvan, Arhan, I see Alex. Any one of you?
The cells of the plant starting to die.
Cells of the plant start to die. Let me just write down what you're saying. Cells of the plant start to die. Is that got anything to do with photosynthesis? What is photosynthesis dependent on? Is it whether there are cells alive? Of course, all living things have cells, right? Without cells, the cells are alive, but does that relate to photosynthesis? So you need to pick a point that to talk about what affects photosynthesis. Rate.
Well, since when the plant is wilting, the stomata on the leaves closes, less carbon dioxide could be taken in by the plant. So, since photosynthesis needs carbon dioxide, there won't be any carbon dioxide for the plant to photosynthesize.
Okay,
If the
thanks. Yeah, okay. So what do you need? Carbon dioxide for photosynthesis. What else do you need?
water also.
Yeah, okay. Can you see what I'm writing down? So these are the factors that we are looking for, not really the cells, okay? If you write any reason outside of these points, we deem it that you do not know what the factors affecting photosynthesis are. Wherein the last 2 years, we've been telling you that photosynthesis depends on a few factors. Same like germination depends on a few factors, like water, air, and warmth. We did this yesterday. Photosynthesis depends on a few factors, like what? Carbon dioxide, the availability of sunlight, and water, right? To make food. So photosynthesis is a process where it makes food. You need to understand what exactly we are talking about, because the question talks about photosynthesis only. So we need to check whether in a wilting plant, right, any of this is affected. Is this affected? Is the sunlight affected? No. Sunlight is still there, nothing to do with the wilting plant. However, water is coming from the roots. Is the roots affected? Not really. But where does the breathing take place? How does it take in the carbon dioxide? Very good. So that's why I got an answer, right? That he only talked about carbon dioxide. He didn't pull in a factor of water and sunlight. Okay. So could we add that in as well? So let's look at the first answer and second answer. Okay. So 2 reasons. So 2 marks. Yeah. So what are my 2 reasons? You must read first, and then we'll see whether you can pick up my 2 answers. If you are the teacher, where will you give me 2 marks? For which 2? You can type it down. You can type it down. Where is my keyword? Now you be the teacher and pick up my keyword, because this is my answer. So I be the student. So tell me where are the keywords I will underline. You can write down, then I can underline. Less carbon dioxide. Very good. I'm looking at the chat to see if you all are helping me. Yeah. Why less? Because since carbon dioxide absorbed by the stomata, there'll be less carbon dioxide absorbed in the wilting plant, because during photosynthesis, you must try and get in more carbon dioxide. This is an important source of photosynthesis. Lastly, and then that's 1 reason, 1 mark I got already. I need 2 marks, right? 2 reasons. Also, less exposure of chlorophyll on the leaves will result in less light being absorbed, because the stomatas are being closed and the leaves are being more or less not being exposed to much light. So the rate of photosynthesis will decrease. So you can actually bring in the light, but how come? It's not because the sun went away or the sunlight went away. It's because sunlight is absorbed by the chlorophyll. So on the leaf, if you are closing the stomata, okay, your exposure of chlorophyll is less also. So less light here as well. So 2 reasons. So can you see very clearly from here what I squared? What I squared, and that square gives you that marks. not exactly everything. You just need to write